All right, so I'm here with Shane Black, and Shane is the legendary screenwriter of Lethal Weapon, as well as the Last Boy Scout, Long Kiss Goodnight, and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Iron Man 3, The Nice Guys, Predator, or The Predator. And yeah, so you have been a very loyal repeat guest on the podcasts from Grand Theft Audio and Radio Titans over time, and Oh Man, That's Awful you were on, and Grown Ass Men. So you've done a lot of them. Have you done a lot of podcasts generally? Was there anything that stood out as different about what we did?
Um, well, what you did was a little less stilted or kind of awkward. It was just more sort of colloquial, you know. I remember going to your apartment, which I don't know if you're still in the same place. It wasn't a big apartment.
No, I live in Little Rock now, but anyway.
Yeah, but you know, you'd go down this hallway of these cramped little rooms, and yours had. I mean, if you wanted to cram as much movie paraphernalia, tables, beverages, onlookers, everything else, just sort of squatting in this one place with a video camera, it really looked like guerrilla cinema. And you know, if you had to design a set for this sort of cluttered, impassioned sort of filmmaker's apartment, that would have been. And you make people very, very welcome. You have a bathroom door that didn't quite close, so everyone in the bathroom was constantly pushing the door so everyone in the room wouldn't watch them. But I just thought it was charming. I thought the whole sort of you know, everydayness of it and the kind of easy atmosphere was just great.
Well, thanks. I mean, I guess, boy, I mean, well, one of the number one show we ever had, when we didn't monitor all the time, but I know the one that was a big breakout for us was you showed up with Max Landis one time. I hope that's okay to talk about. I'm just saying it in a positive sense. And that must have gotten tons of film geeks excited because Max was red hot at the time also. And that was a trip. So anything you want to say about, you know, doing that show? Because you have such a like a I don't know what like a slow burning kind of persona, I'd say. And then Max was like super energetic, off the wall,
Yeah.
you know, personality, and it was a really fun mix, I thought. Any thoughts about that?
I just remember you were very nice to both of us, and
Okay. Okay. So any let me think. Like I didn't hang on a second, let me pause. Yeah, well, one other thing I remember is you said all your movies at Christmas, and I asked you about that, and I loved your answer. I thought I don't know if you mind, like, you know, sharing with.
oh,
We'll probably I'll try to find the audio of that, but you know, for people watching this, I thought maybe it'd be kind of cool for you to explain that because it was such an interesting answer.
um, well, it has to do with Christmas, not just as something I'm fond of in general, which I am, but it has to do with Christmas in the context of movies, right? So I think movies have a particular um, sort of need to find an arena, you know, sort of a context that's sort of in the background that ties things together. And Christmas worked very well for me because it was just this sort of hush, this sort of time at the end of a very hectic year when the types of emotions that are very, you know, powerful emerge. Lonely people get lonelier, you know. More desperate people look in the window and it's like the old Bob Cratchit thing of seeing behind the glass the happy family, but you're out in the snow. Um, and so it can emphasize and accentuate that kind of loneliness to the point of suicide at Christmas actually increases. But in the context of movies, I just think I saw 3 Days of the Condor when I was like 16 years old. And I just remember the great feeling that the Christmas backdrop gave to that because it was sort of this all in it together feel like a thing that for a few doesn't really sit. For a couple people in the midst of it, they're sort of the loners who are maneuvering in and around all the other happy people. And that was interesting to me. So I try to do that. And also there's a beauty to Christmas and finding like the little bits of promise that Christmas supposedly offers, like the magic of Christmas in filmic terms. I remember one night walking in the street and I saw this little Mexican lunch wagon. It was shut down for the night, but there was a string of lights, and one of them was a broken uh, Mary, Mary, uh, Jesus's mother. And I just remember thinking, looked at the cracked chip paint and the bulb inside burning. I thought, the fact that it's a little broken but still shining, and the fact that it sort of beacons here in the night, it's all nobody around, just me, but this like the little light leading me to it, and it was just sort of there, offering itself, saying, "Here we are in the middle of the night, and it's Christmas, and we're reminding you that you have to dig sometimes to find that little chunk of Christmas, that little magic, that little nugget of it that subsists, that keeps going even in the midst of this sort of chaos that's Los Angeles." And I thought that little plastic Virgin Mary was every bit as magnificent in that moment as the 40-foot tall Christmas tree on the White House lawn. It just spoke to me, and Christmas speaks to me for whatever reason. I find it offers a hush of retrospection. You can look back on your life at Christmas. I think it's a decision-making time for people who take reckoning, take stock of their lives. Anyway, I just, once again, I just adore giving context to a movie with some kind of lattice work, some kind of backdrop that sort of binds it and refreshes itself, along the way. Every once in a while, it just reminds you that you're in the same place. We're all in this together.
Yeah, well, I guess you know what, as I was thinking, if there's a quick way to get across the story with Robert Downey Jr., even if it was like you said, Kismet, I still think it's kind of cool. We had you on in 2010 first, and I guess I don't know if you have a memory of this or not, but in 2009 is when I met you. You were at the Great American Pitch Fest. I think it was one of those big screenwriting
Yeah, that's correct.
days.
Bank. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember coming up to you and just being like, "Oh my God, Shane Black," and I think you were kind of flat, kind of like, "Oh my God," like kind of. It was almost like I remember, like I almost had like the Chris Farley kind of over the top crazy, wow, wow, kind of thing going. And, and I think I kind of
Yeah.
probably freaked you out a little bit, but you gave me your email and the rest is history. Any memory of that at all?
Yeah, I imagine, there may have been a moment where I decided not to run, just to, uh, but people come up, and generally people are nice and kind, and you were one of those people who, so many people that mistake belligerence for persistence. They're told to be persistent, and so they, after you say, "I know I'm busy," they keep saying, "So anyway," and it's like, "No, I'm busy." Now you think you're being persistent, like you're going to get what you want, but you just sealed your fate. No, you're not that way. You have a kind of genial way about you that diffused any kind of apprehension. So you came up. I remember we met and we went on the show. And at the time, I was just coming off at that point. I was 2 years sober after having some severe issues and going to rehab after being caught up with drugs, cocaine specifically, and alcohol. And 2 years sober, your brain's still a little shaky and you're still sort of sliding off the map a little bit. You know, um, I could still write, but just in general, emotionally, I was not really on my game. And you said, it'd be nice if you got back on board. I said, I'd love to. And you even mentioned Robert Downey. You said, why not, why don't you give him a call? I can't give him a call. What is, if anything, he knows the drill. He knows that, I got to find myself again and recover. But it's funny because within a month of that, he called me out of the blue uh, and said, "Hey, I got an idea, I want to share with you, but it's going to take about 2 years of your life." And I thought, oh God, all right, I can do that. Because he recognized we had talked, I guess, a little before that, and he'd seen that I was recovered, and we even had recovery meetings on set where I'd invite some of the crew and he'd invite some of the crew. It was great. It was a match made in heaven. I love the guy, and he's given me great opportunities. He's been, in some ways a mentor, I won't say a father figure, but certainly on a good day feels like a brother, like a trudging buddy. And I'm pleased to know him and pleased that he gave me the opportunity to do something that's reignited a career that had stalled.
Okay. Well, hey, well, thanks. I appreciate your time. And that's exactly what I was hoping for, was that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'll send you the video just so you have it also. And I'll keep you posted as things progress. But it looks like things are going really good. I'm coming out to LA for 4 days to shoot locations and a couple interviews, and meet with some people about that'll help finance getting this thing done right in post and all that. So
All right. Well, I wish you the best of luck, Carl.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Call me again.
Okay.
I'll be here.
All right. We'll talk soon. Okay. Thanks.
Thanks, sir. Bye.
Okay. Bye.